I know we are running out of time, but it would be remiss of me if I did not address this critical thing and the level of deception again by the United Workers' Party and its operatives. We know that when the United Workers' Party was in office, there was no announcement of a minimum wage. And I challenge anyone to come before me and say that Alan Chesney has announced or did announce that the minimum wage will be X and X amount. We are aware that under previous UWP administration, there was an attempt, but under Alan Chesney's administration, there was no attempt to provide a minimum wage to St. Lucia. Well, no announcement of that. So the hypocrisy of the UWP now to come and play that, they have the interests of the people at heart, it just continues to baffle me. We will have a look at this clip, this graphic, which we will put up on the screen. And we need to ask ourselves this question. We need to be honest. We need to be honest, people. What did Alan Chesney and the United Workers' Party have to say about the minimum wage when they were in power of 2016, 2011? Right now, they want to talk about all countries have minimum wage, all countries this, all countries that. They quoted St. Kitts at $9 an hour, and the graphic is up so you can see it. Grenada at $5.50 an hour, Antigua $8 an hour, Dominica $7.50, St. Vincent $6.25, and St. Lucia, where was St. Lucia? $0. An announcement of a minimum wage. Nothing from you, the United Workers' Party. Now, the second deputy leader of the UWP, the second deputy leader, I tell you, it's the level of deception that continues to just, as much as we should not be surprised, it is still baffling the extent to which these people can go. In a Loop article, and I'll just read the heading and deal with it because we don't want to give too much time to that sort of negativity. And they quote Guy Joseph, the second deputy leader of the United Workers' Party. He says, there are many employers already paying more than what the government is offering. Can they dismiss these workers that they are paying at a higher rate and now employ workers they can now begin at the minimum wage? Joseph questioned. What? Let me read that again. There are many employers, says Guy Joseph, who are already paying more than what the government is offering. Can they dismiss these workers that they are paying at a higher rate and now employ workers they can now begin at the minimum wage? What is that? So Guy Joseph is saying that if you made more than the proposed minimum wage, because the key word is minimum, that you will now be dismissed? Is he suggesting that you will now be dismissed and that your company will now hire people paid at a lower wage? That's basic English. Minimum means the basic, the standard, the platform by which you start off with. And Prime Minister has said over and over again that the minimum wage is like your basic pay, and that applies to the formal sector. The minimum wage of $1,126, which is being proposed, does not include commission. It does not include overtime. It certainly does not include your bonus. You are still entitled to those benefits from whichever company that you are working with. But every single thing that will change the lives of the majority of St. Lucians, including supporters of their own party, is being fought down by the UWP. Come with grounds, come with some merits, come with some authority of caring, and give the government solutions. And the government has said this is what is being proposed. You are invited, Flabo, Umem, you are invited to send in your concerns or your recommendations or suggestions, but you want to be in the media, you want to talk about this, you want to talk about that, GPH, CIP, now minimum wage. You could not even give the people of St. Lucia in the formal sector a basic start off. You all know which companies I'm talking about. I won't name them. But some people make $600, $650, $700 for a month. People are living off on that. In fact, how can they even live off of that? SLP is coming in and trying to make a change, telling you that this is something we can start off with, people. This is something we can start off. But you're saying it shouldn't be this, it should be that. Fuel prices gone up, not our fault. Inflation gone up, food prices gone up, not our fault. Yet still the government subsidizes. The government loses millions in revenue by subsidizing fuel annually. All the opportunities you had, but all you could have done was give director what this, SLP in power now, SLP have to pay off debt from Flabo, SLP have to go and figure out how we get in the money. The minimum wage is a start off. The proposed minimum wage, if you look at security officers, let me tell you about security officers. Let's bring it home. My father has never made $6.50 an hour as a security officer. I am in my mid-30s and he's been a security officer for as far as I know. Recently retired, well, as of last year. He never made $6.50 an hour. But how were we able to go to school? I got bursary assistance from the SLP administration under the Honorable Dr. Kenny Anthony, when he was Prime Minister. That soulagement, that $500, that is the reason I am here today. Because of policies of an SLP administration. Because of the policies of an SLP administration, I have access to internet. I had access as a child. I had access to universal education. You had access. Wouldn't my dad have felt, some relief knowing that he can now make $6.50 an hour? He'll never get to experience it because he's retired. But he struggled for almost 3 decades, as far as I know. For almost my entire life, struggling for less than that. And that is an example that many St. Lucian families are faced with. A lot of our families, thousands of persons, do not make proposed $6.50 an hour. And those organizations I mentioned, and those people who made $700 or $600 a month, this minimum wage of $1,126 will be almost double. Of course, the government, through the Minimum Wages Review Committee, would have analyzed and done research on the formal sector on which organizations can afford to pay their people more. Things are so hard in our country. Things are so hard. And this is just a starting point. We are late to the party, but better late than never. And you know what we can say? Philip J. Pierre was the one who brought a minimum wage to St. Lucia. And if you see it fit to allow for the SLP administration to remain in power, and things are happening well in our country, there's no telling where we can go from here. But Philip J. Pierre got it done. And so we rebuke the claims from the United Workers' Party that a minimum wage should not be proposed. We rebuke the claims that this is insufficient because they have no standing on it. We have the largest basket of zero VAT-rated goods, over 100 items, the most in the OECS, the most in the Caribbean. We continue to subsidize fertilizer, flour. We continue to offer opportunities and programs for our young people and our elderly and our older persons to be empowered through a youth economy, through an MSME, medium small enterprise facility to allow for 70% grant and 30% loan. The government of St. Lucia is working for you, even with the CIP. For the first time ever, St. Lucia will use CIP funds for our development. Dominica is doing it. St. Kitts did it. Grenada is booming. And again, we are one of the last ones to do it. But we are getting it done. And so, whereas in the past you would have gotten support from the government on a homework program, this time you can access financing because 20 million is available for on-lending through the St. Lucia Development Bank. And we'll learn a whole lot more about that as the days and weeks progress. Do not be discouraged. my brothers and sisters, your government is truly working for you. That's all the time I have for you tonight. I always get so excited when it comes to sharing the facts with the people of St. Lucia, because I believe I have a responsibility to share the truth. And every single cabinet member is held accountable by the people of St. Lucia. We will continue to be transparent. Don't mind some of these talk shows that have graphics on Facebook suggesting we are not transparent. The bottom line is everybody can go online. Everybody can visit the government of St. Lucia's pages, watch NTN, watch the St. Lucia Labour Party's activity, and learn the facts for yourself. Learn the facts for yourself. My name is Lisa JAWAHIR. This is For the Record, a program brought to you by the St. Lucia Labour Party. We'll say goodnight for now, and we hope to see you again next week, Wednesday, same time, same place, God spare, to discuss more of the beautiful initiatives by this Philip G. Pierre-led administration. You take care now. Bye-bye.